What's going on, guys? You know what night it is. It is cards and cake. Look at that cake. Super HD cake right there. Oh, yeah. Birthday cake, red velvet. And besides that, oh, shit, it just fell over. Holy shit, just fell over. Okay. Gonna have to clean that up later. Besides that, I got a special guest. You know him as the Fantasy Football Card Quest. I know him as Andy Kaysen because we've known each other since we were 12. And we're going to be talking about our two favorite platforms, which are COMC and StarStock. If you guys don't know, I've had a lot of success on COMC. I like COMC. I'm also a fan of StarStock and what they're doing. But Andy's like a StarStock junkie. He's like the groupie that follows StarStock around and would sleep with them if they were the lead singer of a band. So we're going to have ourselves a little debate among the two platforms, and we definitely want you guys to get on in. So let me bring him on and say what's up to you guys. JJ, David Hunter, Grumpy Card Guy. Let's see, where you at, Andy? There you are. There you are. Let me unmute you so you can actually talk. I'll use that mute button later. What's up, man? How are you doing tonight?
Well, I'm doing good, man. Speaking of groupies, can we talk about this man right here?
TB12, baby. That's right. I would totally sleep with Tom Brady. Yeah, that. Not if I were gay. Just totally would sleep with them.
Even if he has a 3-interception game like Russell Wilson did on Sunday night?
Yes, because I know he'll come back just like Russell Wilson will come back. And besides that, Tom Brady's a good-looking dude. I just got to say. Do you have any dessert? Because I've already set the bar very high with my toppling red velvet and birthday cake, which is so moist it's just falling over on my oversized thrift store plate.
Well, I realized after last time I came on your channel that it didn't matter what dessert I got here in my area. It was going to be like bringing a knife to a gunfight compared to your dessert. So I grabbed the last two of these little almond
dog treats. You got dog treats?
No,
cat
they're
treats?
actually really, yeah, they're dog treats for the cat. They're cat treats, Brad. Cat treats made with almond flour, gluten-free, double chocolate chip deliciousness.
Gotcha.
Tom Brady diet approved.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was going to say that looks like a Tom Brady dessert, which is like negative carbs, 8 grams of protein per, and organic vegan. While I got like grocery store cake and a fly was just sitting on it, so it can't be that good. Anyway, we're going to be talking about our favorite platforms. Before we dive into the debate, I want to say hi to you guys. I see Ziggy's on here. What's up? Yep, dog treats for sure. That's Ziggy. What I'm thinking. Michael Singer, what's up, my man? Sims Bennett.
Sim.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, the one thing I will say with COMC is it said that my order was like 95% done, yet none of my cards were uploaded. And then all of a sudden they were all uploaded. Now, very strange there. What's up, Global Fourth Card Investor? Lee, what's up, my man? Hey. Let's get to work, bitches. Yeah, I didn't say my slogan. Welcome back. Now let's get to work. All right. So, Andy, I know you mentioned that you're going to have Scott Greenberg on your station. If you guys don't know, Scott Greenberg is the CEO, co-founder of StarStock, and you've been a huge advocate and fan of their platform. Why, man? Tell us what you love so much about it, and then let's just get into some casual conversation about the pros and cons between the two.
Sure. So you let the big news, the cat out of the bag right here at the beginning of the show. Yes, Scott Greenberg will be live on my channel next Wednesday night. Very excited about that. But can we just start with the name? Can we just start with the name? StarStock. Compared to, what do you call it? COMC, COMC?
Straight out of COMC. That's the only thing I know how to make it somewhat cool. But, names are overrated. Like, what's a Google anyway?
It's more than a trillion, right?
Yeah. Okay, so you like the name, but what else? Like, what's so good about this?
All right. So moving past the name, we could talk about the GUI, right? The graphic user interface, not the GUI in your cake, but the graphic user interface. And a big beef that I have with COMC in this mobile world that we live in today, COMC does not have a mobile-friendly interface. Sure, you can access their website, through Safari or Google Chrome on your phone, right? But it's not mobile compatible. So you're like zooming in and zooming out, and you're trying to interact with your inventory and search for cards. But if you go to StarStock, they have a mobile ready, a mobile built website. So it's formatted.
But Andy, you have like an iPhone 3. So, I mean, everything's going to look way worse on yours. I mean, if you just tell in terms of cameras, you see the difference. So on this giant iPhone 11, I could pull up COMC very easily on here, but on an iPhone 4 where it's like a 1.3 inch screen, it's obviously going to be a bit tougher.
Right. What are they changing each time they come out with a new iPhone anyways?
The difference between this look and the fact that I can count every pixel on yours. Like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 6 pixel camera.
Well, yes, I do have an iPhone 4. That's what I use. One step up from the 3, but that's even more reason. Like when you know you got something good, why upgrade it until it's broken? If it ain't broke, why fix it? And that's what I feel about StarStock.
I love this, man. This is great. Okay. I get that, but let's get off of the phones because I find value in having a newer phone, even if it's not the latest one. I will say in terms of the interface, in terms of the interface, StarStock looks modern. It looks clean. And even in my review, I forgot what video it was. I compared StarStock's website. So if you guys haven't been to StarStock, just open starstock.com. If you go to the site, it's clean, it's white, it's very visible. It's kind of like going to the Apple store. And I feel like COMC is like going to Home Depot. And you know, Home Depot, it's very efficient. There's a lot of stuff. It's not known for being a place that's for design. It's more like, hey, you get your stuff here. It's organized because there's a bunch of it, but it's not fun per se. And I felt like going on StarStock, it was more of an inviting type of approach. And if you guys aren't familiar with these, I might just show let me see if I can show COMC now if you guys aren't familiar with it. Let's see here.
But yeah, while you're doing that, Brad, that's a great analogy. Like Home Depot is the retail store of sports cards, like COMC is the online platform for sports cards. Because if you're a person who doesn't know a lot about sports cards and you go to COMC, you're quickly overwhelmed. You just type in Tom Brady and you'll pull up thousands of cards, literally thousands of cards. Whereas you go to StarStock and you type in Tom Brady, you're only going to see his rookie card, and they're going to immediately put the most popular and most highly demanded card at the top in the forefront right there.
Okay. Well, you just walked into my trap, my good friend. If I want to invest in Tom Brady on COMC, on StarStock, and I like Tom Brady and I have $50, what card am I getting on StarStock of Tom Brady, an active player?
Well, it's possible you get his rookie card, but you're maybe not going to get a StarStock A, a PSA 9 or 10. Maybe you're going to get a StarStock B or C.
You get like a crumpled little shit card for. In fact, I'd be curious. Let's open up StarStock now.
Maybe Tom Brady is a bad example because he's the GOAT, right? Okay.
So how about LeBron James?
Okay, you're not doing much better there. I mean, he's basically the GOAT of basketball, right? I know it's somewhat debatable, and so is Tom Brady for football. But can we talk about maybe a normal caliber of player?
Dude, you're such a politician, man. You're such a politician trying to divert everything. We're talking about, in fact, but I will say this, and in all fairness, when we talked about StarStock versus COMC, the summary, like a lot of what I have to take away is COMC is great for finding diamonds in the rough of a specific player because any card is there. So I like it because if I want to invest in Tom Brady and I just want to find certain cards that are undervalued, I can just look at Tom Brady and have a whole library of cards that I can dig through and see what I feel is underpriced and what could go up. While StarStock, the design is your knowledge about the player. If you don't know a lot about the player, then it's not going to be advantageous to you because there's only because what cards are allowed of like a given player right now?
Well, that's the thing, Brad. So talking about knowledge about the player, you have to be knowledgeable about cards when you're on COMC because there's thousands of cards of a specific player to choose from, and B, you have to know about corners, edges, centering, surface imperfections. Whereas you go onto StarStock, if you're simply knowledgeable about that player and you know they're a good player, it's automatically going to bring up their rookie card. That's their most premium rookie card set, and it's going to be pre-graded for you. You know, if you're going to get a StarStock A, then that's going to be a PSA 8 to 10 raw card. Or they also have graded cards on there. So you don't need that prior card knowledge to be successful in the StarStock environment.
Well, that brings up the point. The reason why is because they don't show the actual pictures of the cards. So that is a feature. I talked to Scott about this. The feature exists. It's not released yet. And I said that's going to be a game changer because the way it is with 3 different grades, A, B, or C, you're relying on their judgment as to, is this an A or B? Like, what if like one person's like, it's borderline A and B? I mean, like, there's going to be borderline cards where you go, is this an A or is this a B? If an A is a PSA, I heard PSA 8 to 10, which obviously is a huge range. Like in terms of value, that's a huge range versus a B, and then there's a C. So it's one of those things where they're making it easy, but they're also taking away your own judgment. So if you want to judge it yourself, you go on COMC and here is the card. Here's the actual card. You zoom in, maybe on your iPhone 4, they all look the same because they're all just blurry. But on an iPhone 11, I look and I see every little nook and cranny and every little detail of the card. So I like seeing the physical card because I also like to know it exists. It's not just like some phantom card. Like we have 3,000 StarStock A's. I do trust that they're fine. I'm not saying like I don't trust them. I'm just saying it's always nice to see the card, and I'm sure that's a feature they will release in the future.
Well, it is nice to see the card, and at the same time, I love the way they've set it up currently because, I mean, from my perspective, I always thought that a StarStock A was a PSA 9 to 10, and you're saying 8 to 10, and I've also heard that as well, but I'm looking for Scott to clarify that a little bit better for me next week. And also to actually, there's a couple of us, Ziggy and myself are actually running this experiment in real life right now, of receiving StarStock A's from StarStock and submitting them to PSA to see what the ratio is of 8s, 9s, and 10s. But, you know, they're a legitimate business that do have a high security vault that they are pre-grading these cards with experienced card graders. All right. So they're looking at it and they're inspecting it and they're classifying it with an A, B, or C. And there is that insurance there that if you get a StarStock A, you know that it's going to be a very good, and they've been picky because I've submitted hundreds and hundreds of cards to them, Brad, and cards that I thought would have gotten a StarStock A came back Bs. So I know that they're being meticulous, and they take a lot of pride in that because of that very fact. They want to make sure that when they're classifying something as StarStock A, that it's near mint to mint condition.
And I feel like it's better to be too picky on that kind of stuff than round up, because if they round up, yeah, they could make more in sales in terms of more of the A's sell, which could be more commission. But then they're really damaging their reputation if people get those cards mailed to them and they're like, this is an A, this is freaking horrible, and then they leave the platform. So in terms of thinking ahead, and it's just better to be more strict, and people being pleasantly surprised if they get Bs back in the mail. Like you ordered a B card and you're like, damn, this is actually really good for a B, better than I got my A back in the mail and it's in really crappy condition. Now, El Duderino brings up a big point. StarStock, when you buy cards on StarStock, it's all within the StarStock platform. There's not an external source. And COMC, something that it matters is a lot of the sales, a lot of the listings of cards go through to eBay. So the way I interpret it is that StarStock, because it's more of like a gambling fantasy platform, it's better for them to have cards stay with them, right? That makes sense. It's better for the cards to stay with them, while COMC, it looks like, hey, we just want to sell the cards and have money and kind of keep the whole flow going. And I've sold about probably a fourth to a fifth of all my transactions have been from eBay buyers. So I see the fact that people are willing to buy cards on eBay or via COMC on eBay, even if they're charged more. So I feel like that's an advantage.
Oh,
just
look.
At the end of the day, I want the sale. I like this. The transaction matters. It doesn't matter who's buying it.
Well, I can't argue with you there because eBay is still the juggernaut. eBay is still the juggernaut. And, but one thing I can say is when you sell that card on COMC, what kind of fees are you paying?
Well, that's the good thing. With eBay, when it sells on eBay, I'm only paying 5% of the actual transaction. So, yeah, what's up, card collector?
Okay, when you sell on eBay through COMC,
5%. So that was surprising to me, because if I sell myself on eBay, it's 10%. Now, I will say, if you take your money off of COMC, you are charged 10%, which sucks. Like like any fee, I will say sucks. But I will, someone else pointed out earlier, like months ago, that when they got on COMC back in 2011, 2012, there were no fees. It was very low because they had to draw people in. And while StarStock is very cheap right now as it builds market share, I wonder how long they can keep this up, because it's hard to say, like, we're a profitable business without charging many fees, except for 5% sale, which is very minimal, unless you're doing incredible amounts of volume and incredible amounts of high-end cards, which, maybe they'll get there at some point. But for now, they might be in the negative because they have to build business. I don't know their numbers, but I'm just saying, a lot of businesses have to build that way.
Okay. Yeah, no, valid point. Let me ask you though, how much does it cost you to list that card on COMC?
So that is 50 cents, and it could be higher if I want it faster. I mean, look, the listing of the cards, for me, the price 50 cents per card is fine, because I think it's reasonable, because they actually upload the actual picture. And the biggest complaint would be it takes forever. That is for sure. It takes forever right now. And in StarStock, again, building the business, it is free, no fees.
Wait, say that again. How long does it take to get cards on COMC?
Somewhere between infinite and forever, somewhere in that range.
Okay. Well,
somewhere between end of the world and birth of the next universe.
Hey, well, I think StarStock can do a little bit better than that, Brad. I think they can do a little bit better. So StarStock will literally, from the time you send them your cards, they get it in the mail 3 days later. They will send you an email when they receive your cards from an actual person. Hey, we received your cards. We're starting the upload process. Give us about 1 to 2 weeks. Actually, I think they say 2 weeks in the email. I've seen that speed up to about 1 business week from the time that they receive the cards to the time that my cards are listed on the website. And right now, 48 hours is how long they're taking to list 2020 rookie cards on the website.
I will say,
it's free. And
it's free. Yeah, I have sent cards to StarStock, and it was quick. It was painless. It was quick. It was in the system. And I mean, like, I have no complaints there. It was a pleasant surprise compared to COMC, where I felt like my box of cards was just chilling in their headquarters, collecting dust for months. And my biggest, this was
it was in quarantine.
Order.
Your cards were in COVID quarantine.
It was pretty much quarantining in the corner. I'd like to say they were appreciating in value like a fine wine, but then after August, when the cards for the most part went down, they pretty much lost value. So if the cards had been in the system at the due date, which is July 13th, which would have been 3 weeks, I would have sold a lot of those cards for a huge profit. Now they're in the system, and I'm still selling some at a profit, but I have to wait until the next rise or that next wave, whether that's holiday spending or right before the next season, to see that window of opportunity again, because the last window of opportunity would have been so huge, and I wasn't even close to having those cards listed. But with StarStock, very quick. However, again, that's also partly, I'm sure, because lower volume, and if you're only focusing on rookie cards and specific rookie cards, it's hard to have like 8,000 of those coming from, one person. And one of my complaints with COMC was that if I have a 3-week submission and someone else has a 3-week submission, but I actually have some good players and good cards that people want to buy, I'm still waiting behind the person that's sending in Ryan Leaf third-year cards that has the same service. And so it's kind of screwing them over, because now they're going in order versus, hey, we got to be able to expedite certain cards because we want to sell the good stuff. And if we have everyone sending with the same service, well, like, we're kind of hurting ourselves, because now we're going in order versus going in order, but with certain exceptions, like, hey, NBA playoffs are coming up, so these are the players, these are the cards that can be expedited, because it helps us as well as helps you. So that would be a recommendation.
Create that campaign like StarStock did. Say, hey, we know 2020 rookies are hot right now across the board. We make them a priority. I mean, just because, Brad, don't you think it's safe to say that from a card investment standpoint, the rookie card trumps all, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so StarStock understands this, and they've narrowed it down to just that. And you don't, so when you buy a card, say you find a card that you like on COMC, you've examined it, hopefully it's in good shape, you've bought it, do you pay any type of fees when you buy that card?
When I buy a card on COMC?
Yeah.
I don't believe so. No, I don't. I mean, I buy the card and the seller pays.
Charge the seller.
Yeah.
But then they charge you a 5% transaction fee when you then resell that?
Yeah, sure. Selling
5 or 10?
5%.
Now let me ask you about COMC's data tool, right? So COMC does show the volume of cards that have sold in the past 4 years, right?
Say that COMC or COMC. Okay, I will say in terms of the data, they will show, I think, 4 years back, but it's not specific. It's not laid out in a very in-depth way. It's more just like how many have sold per quarter, what was the highest price of each grade, raw, 9, 10, 8, BGS, whatever, and what was the date of the highest price. But it won't show any bar graphs that are beyond just like 18 this quarter and then 46 that quarter, and that's it.
Well, and so is that free?
A penny per. Yeah, a penny per view.
A penny per what? Penny per click?
Penny per view. Yes.
A penny per view?
Like pay-per-view. Penny per view.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm just going to say that StarStock has market movers level graphic user data that you can see sales history in a nice visually pleasing chart that will show you the date, that'll show you how much it's sold for, and then also put it in a line chart so you can see the actual trends for free.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like the visual, and it does show that. I forgot if the sales, was that eBay? Was that data pulled up from eBay or only COMC sales?
You mean StarStock?
Yeah, StarStock's data. Is that StarStock only data, or is that eBay related?
So on most cards it is StarStock only, but the most popular players, the biggest stars, your LeBron, and you talk about football, your Patrick Mahomes, your Lamar Jackson, your Devontae Adams, it's going to pull in ungraded eBay sales as well, because StarStock was built around very sophisticated software development. They've got these APIs or application protocol interfaces on the back end to be able to pull in this data from other resources, which is also an indication that they have the capability to make future affiliations with eBay and with some other big companies within the sports card industry to do some really cool stuff.
You sound just like a politician, man. Can't trust you, man. You built the cages. And this guy built the cages. He built the cages.
The pages or the cages?
The cages. The cages.
What cages are we talking about?
Don't worry about it. Just say you built them. Just say you built them. That's cool. What's up, Shelly? How are you doing tonight? JJ, yeah, shipping home. I feel like shipping home cards, no matter what, is just has been slow. And I've not even tried it with COMC just because I don't even know what kind of delay to expect. But
well, you're not going to find any vintage cards besides Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady's considered vintage at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Tom Brady, LeBron James could be in that category. But honestly, that's the one thing is it boils down to me when I look at the two platforms, I have to have so much more confidence in the player because if it's only like of a modern player, like a 2018 guy, what sets are they including? Or like Joe Burrow, for example, Mosaic, Optic, Prism, Donruss.
Well, the Optic's not out yet. Well, they have that Optic preview, but it's basically you got your Prism draft picks. That's where they start with the rookies. And then you have your base Donruss, and then you've got your Mosaic. And that's pretty much it right now for the 2020. And then they'll have Prism, they'll have Optic. But if it's autographed, then that supersedes. So, you know, we talk about RPAs and rare cards. They do accept those. They do understand that there's tremendous amount of value in those cards as well. So if it's autographed, then it'll supersede those premium sets, those most liquidatable sets, and you can, you know, they'll accept any Panini brand as long as it's autographed. And going back before they had Optic, they understand, you know, that there's, you know, not just Prism, but Select, and they also accept Topps Chrome, Bowman Chrome. When you go back before Optic and these other secondary and tertiary sets were made.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned this to Scott before, where it makes sense to start niche. You start with the rookie cards. You start with the ones that you know are popular, that can get in the system, and that are liquid. And as the business expands and more requests come for, let's say, LeBron, certain other cards of LeBron, because his rookie cards are just too damn expensive. Maybe it's like first year Prism of LeBron or this card or that card. It makes sense over time. But just like they're introducing soccer now, if you see their website, they have soccer. If they had soccer and all this other stuff to begin with, then maybe those upload times would be closer to what COMC is because they have less manpower and they're trying to spread themselves too thin. So I'm all for what they're doing. It's just funny because like there are different platforms for different people, but I feel like the advantage of COMC is getting in the weeds, is doing the extra work and finding under the radar cards of a certain player. While StarStock, it's not so much comparing the cards of a player; it's more about comparing one player versus the next. And you know, you could have some value of like, all right, the select rookie versus the Optic versus the Prism and finding some room there. But it's not like here's a whole library of cards and where's the gold? Where's the gold hidden? It's more like I got to do my research on the player, and that's where I'll find the opportunity, and then I can go that way.
Exactly. Yeah. So StarStock caters to everybody from entry level to experienced card investors. But if we really want to propel this hobby and grow this hobby forward like it's doing now, StarStock is the perfect platform because you can be a fantasy gamer like myself before I got back into cards. You can have that fantasy gamer mindset. And if you understand players and you understand who's undervalued, you can go onto StarStock, type in that player's name, and it'll immediately take you to their most liquidatable, demanded rookie card. So there's no guessing. You don't need to have all that card knowledge, that prior card knowledge of, you know, what sets to target, you know, what rookie year, second year, brand new 2020. Oh, here's a 2020 of Tom Brady. Should I be buying that instead of his rookie? You know, if you're brand new to cards, going to
COMC,
it's very overwhelming.
If you got $6, you ain't doing anything on Tom Brady on StarStock. I got $9. What Tom Brady rookie card should I get?
But that's the, okay. So that's another thing I like about StarStock is you can put that offer in. I've actually shouted out a guy. Listen to me. I shouted out a guy on my channel. Hear this story. I shouted out a guy on my channel because he put a $3 offer in on a Lamar Jackson in a base donruss, but still his base donruss rookie card was selling for $40 to $50 raw in a StarStock A. The dude put in a $3 offer and somebody accepted it.
Well, okay.
Somebody accepted it.
You know what? It's probably someone that was the first time using StarStock and accidentally pressed the wrong button, because you don't take a $3 offer. It should say something like, listen, you fucking dumbass. Are you sure you want to take this offer? This is really low and you're pretty much a moron for accepting it. Are you press confirm? But dude, well,
that's the thing. You never know how desperate people get. And the other thing is, if cards aren't listed on StarStock, but someone's got them in their vault, you can go ahead and throw an offer out there. Hey, buddy, I know you're not listing this card for sale right now, but here's a $20 offer. Here's a $20 bill. I'm just going to put it on the table. Just slide it across. If you want to take it. And then a guy like me comes along, I'm like, whoa, I got that card for $5. I'll take 20 for it. You know what I'm saying? And so
here's the issue I have with the offers. And COMC does offers, StarStock does offers. Putting a low ball offer on StarStock, a very low ball offer, makes 100% sense. And the reason is because the offers don't expire. What scares me is having an offer on StarStock for a decent amount, but because it doesn't expire and you're investing in week 2, you put out a $60 offer on a Dak Prescott rookie card. I don't know what week he broke his leg, but you forgot you put it out, or you just it's been lingering there. And because there is no timetable for that offer to expire, you have to remember to go back in and check those offers before all of a sudden 5 offers were accepted for $60, and that was after Dak had broken his leg and he's out for the year. So my whole thing, and COMC does offers, but it expires after 3 days. And what I like as a balance is offers that expire, let's say 3 days, a week, and then maybe are a month or something where you get to choose the length of the offer. But I wouldn't put any offers in that aren't extremely low ball offers, because I'd have to include the fact I might forget about it, and this player might have a DUI tomorrow or do something stupid or just get injured or underperform, and I don't want that out there lingering. And then all of a sudden I get this horrible notification. 19 of your offers were accepted, and it was something I put in 3 months ago.
No,
and by the way, this is a comment that will live up here for the next 30 minutes.
Sports cards.
And if you're confused, you're Moby.
No, hey, I get it. Yeah, you do kind of got Hugh Jackson hair, man.
Hugh Jackson?
And I mean, his regenerative capabilities, dude. You healed incredibly fast from that bicycle wreck.
Yeah, seriously, man. Just a bit red right there. Yeah. But I will say the nice camera really adds a nice shine. So anyway, what's your take on offers? Because that really is my that's my feedback, where I would be nervous to put any reasonable offer there unless I'm checking the site every day.
Well, it's definitely got its, like you said, it's got its positives and its negatives. The biggest negative in the fact that there is no expiration date that I've seen. That's definitely a subject of conversation I want to ask Scott about, because like COMC has that 3 days and it'll expire. I do think StarStock should have some type of expiration to their offer system. Yeah, something along the lines of the offers, though, that I do like about StarStock that COMC kind of goes above and beyond is they tell you who's selling the card, and they show each one individually, right? So they've got the picture, they've got how much it's selling for, and then they've got the seller's name. And StarStock will basically say there's 50 cards in the vault, 20 for sale from $4.99, and then you can click on the buyer offer button and it'll show you what each one is listed at, but it doesn't have a name of the seller on there per se, so it doesn't show the fantasy football card quest at $4.99, $7.99, $10, $12, $15, you know, down the line. So there, there's that market manipulation that you can do from an investment standpoint on any specific player, just like you can on COMC, but there's an extra layer of visibility on COMC that isn't there on StarStock.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think some of the features will hit StarStock at some point. If you want to take a look at this question, if you've done the math on what you've made on StarStock, and I know you mostly do lower end raw cards, so it's all relative to the amount you're investing. One thing I like about COMC, and I still have no explanation as to why this happens. I will have a card. Let's just say I have some random Kobe Bryant card, right? I have a random Kobe Bryant card. There's 12 for sale, ranging from $7 up to $24, and I'll have mine at $11, right? It's not the bottom, it's not at the top, but maybe there's 3 cards lower than mine. I'll wake up the next morning and have sold my $11 card in the exact same condition, like nothing noticeable that's different than the cards that are cheaper. I will have sold mine while the other cards are still in the system. And I have no idea why someone would choose to pay more for my card with the condition being the exact same. And that's something you won't be able to get away with, I don't believe, on StarStock, because if there's no pictures, it's just pretty much in order of the offers, correct?
Well, yeah. And I mean, why would you buy a StarStock A for 12 when you could buy one for 5, right? And on COMC, what I think it is, I think people are looking at the specific pictures, and I don't know what they're on or what they're drinking or what they're doing, but for whatever reason, their mind is set on that $12 one, thinking that it's in better condition than the $7 one. And I that's just my guess.
That makes sense. Yeah, like the thing is, I'll look at the pictures because this has happened so many times that, and people have asked me, some of you guys have asked me in the comments of other videos, it'll just say like, hey, have you ever sold your card for more on COMC than the lowest price of a card that's in the same condition? And I'll say, yeah, and I have no idea why that is. But anyway, do you want to answer this question here by Justin?
Yeah, Justin. So my best month by far was September because I specifically focus on football cards. That's all I do is football cards because that's really the only sport that I'm knowledgeable in. So going back to September, I probably had close to 400 cards uploaded into the StarStock inventory between the beginning of August, maybe even more the middle. I think August 18th was when I had my first card uploaded. Between August 18th and September like 12th, I think it was, I sold roughly 80 cards and made about $2,000. And that was the initial investment to make that money was around $400 to $500. I don't know specifically, but I have narrowed it down to between $400 to $500. So, I'm looking at a 400% return on my investment at the beginning of the season. That's by far going to probably be the best for football all year. The beginning of the season, hype is absolutely the highest. It's like a feeding frenzy. Write that down. Remember it for next year. Be ready. What are the personal finance that? Yes.
Well, last time I went live with Dustin down there, I went on my channel and my internet went out for about 10 minutes, and he'd never used StreamYard before or wasn't familiar, so he was doing all these personal finance dad jokes and trying to keep the audience there, and it was just a disaster. But if you guys have not checked, I went live with Dustin, and we had a great time last night. So check his channel, just not right now. Sorry, Dustin, not right now. Y'all check later. But that's a great profit. And StarStock was developed by fantasy football, that background. So if you have the insight on fantasy football, if that's your advantage, it makes sense that that's going to be the platform that speaks to you, and more of the gambling. I don't know. I don't want to say gambling, but it is that flipping short-term investing. It's not like, what is something I can have on this platform for the next 6 years? It's more like, all right, just like COMC, if you buy something, you'll have it shipped to yourself, but it's designed to be fluid, to be like transactions going left and right.
And I see it every week, Brad. Now that I've got about 600 cards in their system, and I bought a lot of cards, so I didn't, cash out all that money to reinvest in cards outside of the StarStock platform. I left quite a bit in there, and guys that have been following my channel, they've seen the buying sprees that I've been on the last few weeks, because the initial beginning of the season hype was super high. The supply was also low on StarStock. So now the demand has caught up with the supply. The prices have gone back down, and a lot of players have also underperformed. We've had injuries, we've had underperformances. So there's a lot of players that I've been buying up, StarStock A in their Prism rookie card that when the season started, you were going to pay you $40 to $50 for, that now you're getting that $10 range that I'm taking advantage of. And I see it every week right now during the season that sales are happening before the Thursday night game, before the Sunday games, like around 11, 12 o'clock, and then throughout the day a little bit if a guy really goes nuclear, and then before the Monday night games. Like, those are when the sales happen. So people are basically looking at like who underperformed last week. So it does have some daily fantasy mindset behind it, because when you're playing a tournament on DraftKings or FanDuel, you're looking for a guy that's going to go out and overperform, but also a guy that's got low ownership, because everybody can have Clyde Edwards-Helaire that week, or everybody can have Justin Jefferson. But if you all have it, then you're all going to go up in points at the same time,
Right. Yeah.
So you're looking for guys that are going to overperform, but that are also low owned. Like, people aren't on them. People aren't on them yet. So you basically are looking for that guy that's, tomorrow's news today. So there's a lot of carryover and correlation. And then you can go on there and type in the guy's name, and it takes you immediately to his Optic and his Prism and his Donruss and his Select right there on top. And they do have all parallels of their base rookie card. And as we all know, the parallels have kind of gotten out of – I think they've kind of gotten out of control for the Prism. Like, do we really need –
What do you think of what do you think of the new Prism Rainbow Vomit parallel?
the Rainbow Vomit parallel?
Or the unicorn piss?
Well, the unicorn piss is nice, dude. I was a little curious, not too crazy about the Rainbow Vomit, but
okay. I'm more of a unicorn piss type of guy anyway.
Yeah, unicorn piss, it smells good. It looks good when you put it on a card. It's got a nice
it's a scratch and sniff
sheen, and it goes well with the Tom Brady rookie.
Gotcha. Yeah, the one that you could afford. And George, I see you put here. Dude, here's the thing with StarStock. It is super new. It is so new that COMC has been around since 2000, I believe 2011. Hockey 99. Yeah, it looks like an engineer developed it to cover a basic need. It's not there to be overly enticing and warm. That's why I compare it to walking down the aisles of Home Depot. It's just, it gets the job done. It has great features. The sorting features are great. I love the biggest discounts, highest percentage off. I love the way it functions, but it's not a warm and fuzzy interface. And, StarStock could be extremely advanced in 6 months or a year's time for sure.
So, yeah, and that's my point. Like, I get a lot of comments, Brad, on my channel because I am so bullish on StarStock, and I did have a very good amount of success selling football cards, raw football cards specifically at the beginning of the season. They're like, yo, what's up, Alex? They're like, why I'm not getting offers? I'm not selling cards. What's going on? And I'm like, well, what cards do you have? First of all, like, I'm curious what cards they have. What are they trying to sell them at? Maybe you have to accept some offers. But also I explained to them, look, StarStock is still in its infancy, and they are pretty niche, and they're still, driving a lot of traffic. But I look at StarStock as the future of, online sports card trading, whereas COMC is still going to be there, because when I want to get a Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon card from 1989, I can get it on COMC.
Yeah.
If I want to
Well, see, it's a different demographic, and it's funny because Ziggy, he made a first sale, accepted $1. Sometimes when I went in there and I looked at my cards, I'm like, how exactly does this work? and I see a shiny button that's lit up like accept offers, and that sounds good. And then you realize you sold your, your one.
Okay, it's not a shiny button. It's not lit up. They
Yeah.
didn't like put it out there. No.
I'm just saying, like, I can understand how some people would accept offers on accident the first couple times you're using it, because it's anytime you're using something for the first couple times, you have that chance for messing up.
Yeah, sure.
But what I was going to say is, look, StarStock, it's great if you're very active and you're up with players, and that weekly buying this guy, looking at charts, just the activity, the actual transaction makes a lot of sense. COMC, I think, is, because it's so big and it's kind of like Home Depot, it's you go in there and you look at buying a lot of cards, probably getting them shipped home to you if they're in good shape, submitting them to grading, and it could be more of like a drawn out year-long type of process where I go in there, I get my cards, or I break a lot of boxes and I just want to send everything of some value to them. You guys sell it for me. I just don't want to deal with all this. But StarStock is way more of the active daily platform for sure.
Yeah,
I'm going to say, I saw something here about Chris Godwin, and I bought a lot of his cards recently.
He broke his hand
recently because they were down. And dude, those injuries, like, that's fine. Be injured for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks now. Bucks are looking great without all the receivers. And no matter what football team it is, like Michael Thomas was another one. I'm like, you're still a great receiver. As long as you're there for the second half of the year and your team is going to be in the playoffs, that's someone I'd keep my eye on for sure.
Yeah, he wants a trade too. He wants a trade. You never know. You never know. Michael Thomas. Well, I've heard rumors that he wants to trade. Maybe
bring him on the Bucks, man. Any wide receiver will take you. Any washed-up running back or any disgruntled wide receiver will take you. There was another comment about, I wish, man. I really wish. The only thing is that I can't get this legendary. Obviously, I have more than an iPhone 4, so I don't have a disposable phone like Andy. I got to make sure my camera lasts.
His cake is not as aerodynamic as my little cookie either. I could just like throw this as a
There's yes, sorry to destroy your night, Dustin, but yeah, Michael Thomas wants out, and
yeah,
Drew
man,
says he would like to be the backup to Tom Brady here in Tampa. So sorry.
Happy.
But there was something with offers on COMC, and I forgot if StarStock does it, but on COMC you can obviously submit offers the last 3 days, but you can also place the price at which the offer will come through versus automatically get rejected. And I like that. And I forgot if StarStock has that, but if you don't want the local offer on COMC, you say 85% of the price, 90, 75. I think for me, it's like 92% and the offer won't go through. And then 98%, it'll be automatically taken. But like, that's because I don't want to get bombarded with lowball offers because it's just annoying.
Yeah, no, there is a threshold. I do not believe it's customizable. Actually, I'm 99% sure right now it's not customizable, but it's at a decent percentage. That's like 60% of your sale price. And if you set your sale price reasonable, then you're going to get notified, which right now is good. I want that because I'm setting my sale price as reasonable, and there's not a crazy amount of offers coming in on a daily basis. So I want to know about it when I do get that offer that comes in over that 60% threshold. But I'm sure that's a little feature, a little drop-down box they can add in the settings, down the road.
And real quick, yeah, good point there, Dustin. Yeah, Michael Thomas would be on the practice squad at first. I'm sure we'll find some room for him down the road. But there's another thing about grading. I saw someone point out grading and the idea of being able to take cards from COMC or StarStock and send them directly to PSA or BGS or one of the others would be huge, because especially with raw cards on COMC and raw cards on StarStock, if they're in the A category and you're okay risking the 8 and you feel like that's the lowest, a lot of times if you're requesting them to be shipped home and they're StarStock A, there's a good chance you're literally just going to be submitting them to PSA or BGS or one of the others. Do you know any update on that, or is that just something that you want to ask Scott about next week?
That's a great question, Brad. And I cannot confirm or deny what the future plans are for StarStock. I will defer that to Scott next week on my channel. But I think that that's a highly doable affiliation that you're talking about right there between StarStock and, I don't know, BGS, PSA, SGC. That basically they could act as a group submission house and just
Mhm.
add an extra button, for a small fee that they'll take out of your account. Go ahead and send it as part of a group submission to PSA, and then have them send it directly back, and then they can, then you can relist it back on the site as a graded card, or you could receive it home. But it takes out all that trying to find card saver. You talking about trying to find card savers, man? You had to then you have to drive like 200 miles in 3 cities to find a pack of card savers.
I will say this: the more I think about COMC, StarStock, or one of these other sites offering direct grading, it makes so much sense because it's more money for them, right? You could literally just say we charge $1 or $2 more per card, just like any other bulk submission service. But it's also a good tiebreaker because then I go, damn, I don't want you to ship to me, pay 50 cents per card or more for the card to arrive to me in 3 months, for me to then look at the cards, dust them off, do their thing, and then submit them to getting graded, which will be another 5 or 6 months. So the idea of like, look, you can, like StarStock, for example, if they don't want to raise the fees, I saw someone here they said they don't plan on raising the fees, which would be great. But I think, you got to do what makes sense for the business. So if you're going under and you can't support yourself, you got to do something. But if they could say, look, we can keep the fees very low and not charge you anything when you list the card, keep the selling fees 5%, because now we have this partnership where we can make $1, $2, something like that per card, because we'll submit them to PSA or BGS or SGC or whoever else for you, and then they'll be brought back here. That would be huge, because I would literally say, COMC, StarStock, whatever, do that, because I don't want to pay for extra money to receive the cards to then send them out. And also, I like a lot of you guys here, Global Sports Card Investor and a couple others are out of the country, or like in different parts of the world, where shipping cards from COMC or StarStock to Australia or England or Costa Rica or all these other countries, then to get them. And then what are you going to do? Send them back across the world to the US, to PSA? Like, that's not reasonable. So these partnerships have got to happen. And just going on this tangent for a second, if COMC or StarStock has a partnership with BGS or someone outside of PSA, I could see it being so popular that BGS or SGC starts gaining market share, because a lot of people are open to that and how convenient and good it is, that those cards might come back and PSA might be like not left in the dust, but just kind of like their lead would have been shortened, because I could see that being so popular that a lot of people would just choose to do that versus traditionally receiving the cards and doing it themselves.
Not only that, but I don't have one of those nice fancy microscopes here with the magnifying glass and the light.
I thought you were going to say phone or microphone, but microscope. Okay.
Yeah, a microscope with the magnifying glass and the light to examine, the gloves, the cloth, the card savers, the one touch, the whole 9 yards. I would love just to be able to send my cards in a penny sleeve, well taken care of, immediately in a penny sleeve when they come from the box, the package, whatever the case may be. Send them to StarStock, have them pre-grade them. Okay, I sent them 10, 6 get StarStock A's, 4 get B's. Okay, out of those 6 A's, I want to flip 3. The other 3, I want to go ahead and hit that button, send them to PSA. Boom.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I mean, if they can offer a service where, I mean, on COMC, like I've talked to some guys that go like, look, on COMC, you see the card, and a lot of times they've been able to get the cards in person, and 60% are 10s and 40% are 9s, because just online, a detailed scanned image is enough to at least see the centering, to see the corners. You might miss the occasional thing, but if you're able to do that and just click a few buttons and automate it, I think one of the biggest pain points with the card, with everything with the cards, is the cards are great, doing the research is great, sports are great, talking about it's great. All the in-between stuff sucks ass. All the in-between stuff, the post office, the damn tape, the fees here, like the waiting time, everything, all of those are like literally pain points where if StarStock or COMC can handle that, then it would be amazing.
Well, that's what I want to ask you, Brad, because at the end of the day, you're a businessman, you're a business owner, an entrepreneur. At the end of the day, what is the most important thing that a business needs to succeed? What would you say is the most important?
Well, I mean,
thing?
I don't know where you're going with this except for profit. I mean,
Okay,
profit is
okay.
the thing you need to go on. But where are you
But
going?
I'm the customer, you're the business owner. What's the most important thing to me as the customer, to grow your business? What's the most important thing that you need? What you need to
Well,
do good at?
I need to offer you value more than the competition.
Right.
I need to have my competitive advantage that would make you choose me over anything or everything else. And
Yeah, the
it's
value's got to be
solving the
there.
problem.
Okay, given the values there, all right, the legitimacy of your business is there, the values there. After that, though, what sets that company apart from its competitor that does the same thing?
Sorry, I was distracted with the comments. What was that?
All
What's
right,
the
all right, I'm
difference?
just going to answer the question for you. It's customer service. It's customer
Okay,
service.
sure. Okay. Well, I mean, look, yeah, customer service is huge, and we're also seeing customer service now with the short staff. We're seeing which ones have it and which ones don't, or which ones we have to fight for to get it. So yes, all things even, customer service is big.
So I'm just going to tell you, you can go to the StarStock website and you can see the people who work there. You can talk to the people who work there. The people communicate with you every step of the way.
Okay.
I had actually a couple cards that were rejects. They sent back to me, and I
Roberto
saw this.
Aguayo's? The
What?
Roberto Aguayo rookie cards you sent in?
You see it? I put it up.
Roberto Aguayo, 1/1, PSA 10, auto
Top one,
patch.
guys.
I think that's a tear card, right? The one with his actual tears from crying from being cut after such a disappointing career.
JJ Bama hooked it up. Population 1.
One is too many. But
Make
anyway,
you jealous, Brad. Are you jealous, Brad?
I am of that rack of cards. Just the assembly of that rack is very nice. I wish I had a rack like that.
I've got more of these. I've got more of those to put up. You know what's funny is those are actually advertised as kids bookshelves, kids plastic acrylic bookshelves on Amazon, and for $30, just like that big card display there on the back of the door, you can get 6 of those for $30. So I'm gonna eventually have those like all the way on the wall out here. So it'll be fun, but the customer service at StarStock is hands down leaps and bounds better than, and I will say StarStock goes to the effort and through social media, right? They just started their very own YouTube channel. They're watching other content creators' content, just like Teapot is watching your content to get a better understanding of what content creators are saying about the software as a service market movers. So StarStock is doing the same thing. I don't know what COMC is doing in regards to that. I know I've seen them on Instagram basically just promoting their platform, which is cool and all, but are they listening to what the customer is requesting and what the customer needs and making adjustments and adapting to the market? Whereas I can clearly see StarStock doing that. They're also building a community. They're creating these competitions where they're involving, expert fantasy analysts and professional athletes. And then they're throwing in there a couple people on social media and this and that. And hopefully I'll be in there next time, and you and stuff.
Yeah. And if you've seen, check out this comment below while I answer, because I heard I looked like Hugh Jackman earlier, and now you look like a A-list celebrity as well. So congratulations. But in terms of customer service, here's my experience with both.
I take that as a compliment.
Yeah, there you go. It is a compliment, I think. But I mean, yeah, she was pretty hot back in the day. I've talked to Scott. I've had him on the show. I want to have him on again. He's been very open, very receptive. And I think any new business has to, I don't feel like I don't know about COMC. I emailed them about my order. They got back to me quickly, and my 3-week submission that was 3 months delayed got in the system about a week later. I've also mentioned on Instagram, hey, here's my station. I'd love to have a representative on. Whoever's in charge of their Instagram said we'll pass it along, and that was it. But they're not nearly as proactive in my experience. Maybe they're proactive with other people, but they're not proactive with me versus how I emailed Scott very easily. It was a very easy exchange. We spoke on the phone. Then he joined me, and I couldn't understand how technology worked a couple months ago, and I completely screwed up the live, and it had to be a Zoom recorded.
To be fair, OBS Studio is not easy to use. Like,
yeah, like
I couldn't figure it out.
If any of you guys know about streaming on YouTube versus anything besides StreamYard, it's like you have to be the most advanced computer hacker in the world to get OBS working. It's like, whatever, just don't do it. StreamYard, not like we're affiliates, but this is like the easiest process ever. It's only if you have a dial-up modem like I do could it go bad, but that's on you. But StarStock, when I emailed them about my cards, very simple, like quick, simple. The customer service is there. I feel like StarStock has a chip on its shoulder, or they know their role. They know that they are the underdog. They have got to take advantage of this opportunity, which means every opportunity to be on a platform, to share their message, to make someone feel pleased that they're taking a risk with them, they've got to take advantage of. While COMC, I know they've got to be short-staffed. They've got to be overwhelmed. Washington is like one of the harshest cities in terms of COVID regulations. I'm sure they're doing the best they can, but maybe because they've been established, they're getting overwhelmed a lot easier, while StarStock was developed throughout COVID, so they can gain momentum and traction at a pace that they can sustain. While COMC, it's kind of like, hey, here's a site that people have been talking about. Let me bombard them with my 4,000 card collection that's been in my dad's basement for the last 15 years.
Like somebody said, they accept everything from 1902 soccer and Alexander Graham Bell rookie cards to,
Did you say Alexander Graham Bell?
Oh yeah, man. I've invested in some Albert Einstein and I've invested in some like historical character where they consider rookie card. Yeah, I should pull up my COMC inventory. I bought some weird cards like that on COMC.
What year is that from?
It was like
the top rookie card from. Does it have a picture with the light bulb on it?
So it was advertised as his rookie card, but it was like a set that they made in the 50s, and I was like, oh man, this is really cool.
Yeah,
and it had all the historical characters.
Yeah.
I think you remember that, like.
Well, that brings up another point where on COMC, I mean, now we're not only talking sports, but they have Pokemon cards. Not that many, but I've seen Pokemon cards. They got Avengers and Marvel cards. They had I bought Full House cards, like literally Full House and Family Matters cards. So, but that's what I mean. It's more like
rookie
go to Home Depot, you find anything. You can find anything there. But anyway. Let's transition.
Technically, they have, Pokemon have rookie cards, right? So like a Charizard is, the grown-up version of a Charmander. So like Charmander would be his rookie card. But then, everybody wants the Charizard, so I guess it's not really going to work out.
I don't know. But let's talk a bit about football before we jump off.
And, yes, please.
Yeah. So, I mean, dude, you're the football specialist, right? That's why StarStock makes sense. And you keep up with fantasy, and we are like week 8 right now? I think week 8.
We're going into week 8, man.
Okay.
The MVP hunt.
So in terms of, obviously there's been a lot of surprises. Fortunately, the Bucs are starting to get into their groove. But what players are catching your eye right now based on what we've seen? Maybe they're disappointments earlier in the year, or they're just rookies that are starting to take off.
Well, there's a lot of rookies that are starting to take off. I'll tell you one guy. I mean, I always look at the activity around popularity of teams, and you always, like, I've seen this week in and week out. Like Chase Claypool is a prime example. Rookie wide receiver for Pittsburgh Steelers, literally went nuclear, crazy 2 weeks ago, 4 touchdowns. like double-digit targets, double-digit receptions, over 100 yards, 4 touchdowns in that game. His rookie card immediately exploded. And since then, it's kind of cooled back off because he's not, for one thing, they had Deontay Johnson, who was hurt that week, and he left in the beginning of that game. If he would have stayed and played that whole game, who knows what would have happened. Now, Juju Smith-Schuster, I don't know what's going on with that guy. Good athlete, had an incredible breakout age. So breakout age is at what age they started producing over 20% of their college total offensive production. And the guy broke out when he was 18 years old. So incredible athlete. We saw what he did in his rookie year, and now he's just like totally quiet. So if you believe in Juju Smith-Schuster, he's still young. He's still only like 24 years old. So he's got a lot of time left. He could be traded to a team, and when that trade happens, I mean, his rookie cards are going to go up in a sense like that. And I'm just using Pittsburgh Steelers, more examples of that in the league.
Well, okay. So you have the stats you have on that site show breakout age. I think what's more important, we need like over the hill age, the age that they're going to start sucking, because that would be a really good metric. So
wow.
Like, okay, you're going to start sucking at 29, and then we're going to be out.
I mean, it was looking like you look at a guy like AJ Green or Marvin Jones or even Julio Jones, they did not perform well starting the year, and it's like now all of a sudden are their old man joints finally getting greased up? Even Tom Brady, I mean, he played out of his mind this last week. And Julio Jones I don't know how he's playing right now. I'm not watching the game, guys. He could be doing terrible. I heard somebody say Calvin Ridley lives off the field.
Yeah. We're going to wrap up in a bit, but I wanted to talk some football. But I think that's the beauty of it, is that there's streaks within a year. Like Drew Brees started off horrible, and everyone's like, it's over. But it's still 16 weeks where people can, like, teams can get it together. And just like the Bucs started off kind of slow, you saw the potential, but you knew that, look, we had COVID, we had no training camp, no preseason. And so some quarterbacks might have better advantages because of that, and others might need more chemistry. It was obvious Tom Brady needed more chemistry with the wide receivers, but it doesn't mean they're done for the year. I think that's the cool thing, is in 16 weeks, you get streaks, and then you get like the Panthers and certain teams. Like, I don't know. I don't think the Texans are going to be able to overcome their start, but it would be pretty miraculous if they went on a late season streak and like snuck into the playoffs. But the whole point is that I like looking at like Christian McCaffrey, for example, injury, disappointment, but it's still only week 8. And I think he'll be back in another week or two. So Christian McCaffrey was like an obvious big hype. Hopefully he could live up to it. But just the announcement on ESPN saying Christian McCaffrey is active for week 9, week 10, that could be enough for people to be like, oh my God, I forgot about it. Let me go in and pay whatever price is listed there, because I'll assume it goes up. While right now,
I don't know about that one specifically, Brad. I don't know about the Christian McCaffrey call specifically, because at this point, I think we're starting to look at guys that are going to make the playoffs. And maybe the Panthers could sneak into a wild card spot, maybe, but I doubt it. That's, you definitely looking at either the Bucs or the Saints winning this division. But within that, we can look at a guy like Mike Evans, who his card prices are at rock bottom right now. And Mike Evans is a guy, all right, 26 years old, few years into the league, and he's been very quiet. We're signing Antonio Brown, but one thing that we started doing, now Godwin's got a broken hand. He's going to miss some time. One thing that we started doing this past week, and I don't know if it's a combination of Arians or Brady, but I think it's both. They started moving Mike Evans into the slot, and from the slot, they run him out of the slot out to the outside. And this is a really smart move. And then you add Antonio Brown into that mix, Leonard Fournette healthy. Watch out. I think Mike Evans is going to have some games where he's putting up like 4 touchdowns in a game, and then he's going to have some games where he's barely targeted at all and has, a couple catches.
Yeah. I mean,
But
well,
come down the stretch and getting into the playoffs, you very well could see Mike Evans, weeks 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, not really do much. And then week 1 of the playoffs, or if we get a bye, week 2 of the playoffs, have 4 touchdowns in that game.
well, I mean, we're also
You know?
talking about, and a two-park I see there. Yeah, don't worry. Football will eventually hit Korea. It just might be another like 75 years. So, but anyway, basketball starts soon. But on the same lines of football season going into playoffs, like the last half of the year, that's also holiday season. So I'm also thinking, man, if someone's going to make a move, if you're looking at the teams that are set to make the playoffs, the teams that are being ranked really highly to win it all, according to Vegas, towards the end, and that are getting all the hype. If we're talking about late November, as in, I guess that would be week 12, week 13, week 14 into December, I could definitely see a lot of movement on the cards with holidays and playoffs coming up. So,
yeah, and honestly, I think that the MVP is a very big award. It affects rookie cards a lot, and we've seen that historically the last few years, and I think it's just going to continue to get more focus, like on the rookie card of the MVP. And we know that's most likely going to be a quarterback. But after Russell Wilson's performance Sunday night, the 3 interceptions, it's like came out of nowhere. It was the worst performance he's had all year. Dude, I hear a lot of fantasy experts, my favorite guys talking about, now Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers are back in that mix.
On ESPN. You look at the articles on ESPN. Real quick, though, I saw a comment about Jalen Hurts, and then we're just going to do – so Jalen Hurts, take on Kyler Murray. Is he the real deal? Is it just a little nice little moment for him? What's your take on those two guys?
No. Kyler Murray is definitely the real deal. I mean, he's a Heisman Trophy winner, very accurate in college, and you look at how he runs, dude. The guy's fast, although he takes 10 steps to go 5 yards versus DeAndre Hopkins takes 2, because he is a shorter guy. He's more of like a Doug Flutie style player, but he's very fast. He's very elusive. He's very accurate. He's got the weapons. Supporting cast efficiency is probably the biggest metric for a quarterback's success. You take a guy like Joe Burrow and put him on the Kansas City Chiefs and see what he does. I know Patrick Mahomes is very good, and he's very accurate. He's got a very good deep ball. He's pretty mobile, but he's also got the number 1 tight end in the league. He's also got a guy that can separate from a corner at any time in Tyreek Hill. Now he's got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They've got an incredible offensive line. So he's not only very good, but he's got the supporting cast around him. And look at a quarterback that's older but struggling like Drew Brees in New Orleans. He's got no Michael Thomas right now. He's got no Michael Thomas. So he's been throwing the ball to Emmanuel Sanders. He's been throwing the ball to Traquan Smith here and there. But most of the time it's Alvin Kamara. He's been dumping it off to him like crazy, which is why Alvin Kamara is – got the most receptions as a running back in the league, and he's, top 3 fantasy running back. But those supporting cast metrics are huge because Joe Burrow in Cincinnati has no offensive line, no protection.
And I would say, too, I don't know if this really translates over, and I just want you to get your take on Jalen Hurts for one, and then any players that are on your radar now for the second half of the year, and then we'll call it there. But I would imagine the supporting cast, even though we see Drew Brees struggling without it, I would imagine that's even more important with younger quarterbacks, like the rookies, the ones that are in the league. And if they don't have the support, they still need to learn the speed of the game and how the game works and all that kind of stuff, where I would feel more confident about a more experienced quarterback getting away and dumping it off and making better decisions than a young quarterback without weapons. Like, all things even, I'd rather take the older quarterback that has gone through 8 or 9 years versus the rookie quarterback that is going to have the mistakes and struggles anyway. What's your take on Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, no, Jalen Hurts, very mobile. Carson Wentz, to my surprise, has hung in there tough, man. Carson Wentz has been, he's another guy. I mean, he does not have a supporting cast in Philadelphia hardly at all right now. Deshaun Jackson got him back, got hurt again. Alshon Jeffrey hurt. Miles Sanders now hurt. O-line struggling. So Travis Fulgham is the real deal there in Philadelphia. He looks really good, 2019 rookie wide receiver. But he's got very little targets. But Carson Wentz has hung in there tough. He hasn't got hurt yet, but he's running a lot. And Carson Wentz has a pretty high injury volatility. If he gets hurt, that's going to force Jalen Hurts into the game. But
is it just a matter of time before Hurts starts? Is it like, look, get on the Hurts bandwagon now because at some point he's going to be in? Is like that more your mentality? And real quick,
there's questions though around Hurts's QB accuracy, his deep ball accuracy, and his passing accuracy, because his brand was somewhat tarnished going back to Alabama when Tua. And JJ Bama taught me how to say his last name, but it's like Tungviloa. I just call him Tua, just Tua, right? Yeah. And so look what happened. I mean, they named him as a starter in Miami, and he came out and made another ultra efficient, play, and now he's the starter again. Just kind of like took over for Ryan Fitzpatrick. So don't be surprised if Ryan Fitzpatrick gets traded. That could be something you could see. I heard that today on a podcast. That would be crazy because who's really hurting for a quarterback that's got a great supporting cast efficiency? The Dallas Cowboys. They could really use a veteran passer in that offense. They're getting ready. They
could use some magic in Dallas because they've had like the worst run period.
Can you see that? Can you guys see that? Fitzmagic going to Dallas by the trade deadline?
But that would just be for this year as like a little Band-Aid, but it's not like they're a playoff contender. I would see a team that like a team that's really good with a great record. And then in I guess the trade deadline comes up soon though, right? Is it week 8 or week 10 or what? Do you remember what the trade deadline is?
Yeah, it's in November.
Okay. But either way, I would have thought that a team that is stacked with a record that's great, and then the quarterback goes down with an injury, kind of like the Cowboys in a way, but with a better record and later in the year. Like if Dak went down in 2 weeks and the trade deadline was in 3 weeks and they had a great 8-3 record or something like that, then it'd be like, holy shit, we were on a roll. Who's the best guy to potentially take us just for this year? This comment right here has really been on my mind by Flipping Steve, an all-pro wide receiver that played with Dan Marino. The one that comes to my mind is Hootie from Hootie and the Blowfish, because he caught the ball from Dan Marino in that I Only Want to Be With You music video. And I think he actually dropped the ball, but I love that music video. And I'm not embarrassed to say I liked Hootie and the Blowfish back in the day, and I still listen to them from time to time. Anyway, before we head out, any final guys to take a look at for football this upcoming couple of weeks? Any guys on your radar you just want to list off real quick?
Well, I'm just saying if Ben DiNucci gets to start in Dallas, I've been watching his rookie cards throughout the week. They've already started to go up. I don't know a lot about. He was obviously not taken with any type of draft capital. He drafted in like the 7th round. I don't even have metrics on the guy, so I don't know what he was like in college. But just the fact that he could get to start in Dallas and he's a rookie and we haven't seen him play on a professional football field. He is a big guy, pretty big athlete. So that guy right there this weekend is somebody to watch out for. And then, like I said, I'm looking at Mike Evans right now. I'll give you that as a pick.
What about Michael Thomas, real quick? Would you get Michael Thomas cards now with everything that's going on, like at a certain price, or because someone like Michael Thomas intrigues me because he's great, but at a really bad point of his career, which means that it could easily, like a little return, like a Julio Jones-like return, could mean that, he's back.
Yeah, but Michael Thomas, he's good. He's also 27. So I don't know. I mean, I have to look at his prices. I haven't done research around his prices right now to see where they're at. I mean,
They
if they're
dropped a ton last couple of weeks. They dropped a ton. That was one guy I thought if I was going into a receiver, I would look into, because with the amount his prices had dropped, I thought if he had just came back and had like a 100-yard game, then there'd be a decent room for profit there. But anyway, guys, it's been an hour 20. If you haven't, if you can't tell, for the last like 70 minutes, I've had to piss extremely bad. I had my giant smoothie and I didn't time it very well at all. But make sure to follow this guy, the Fantasy Football Card Quest, if football cards are your thing. He's going to be interviewing Scott Greenberg off of StarStock. What date is it? Next Wednesday or so?
Yeah, next Wednesday. Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. So stay tuned there. Enjoy the rest of Thursday Night Football. Let me enjoy my sweet cake. Andy, enjoy your cat treats. It looks like my cake kind of just melted here on the plate, but I'm going to be eating this bad boy. And I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to follow this guy, Fantasy Football Card Quest, and I'll see y'all later.
Good stuff, guys. Peace.